Jitender Dabas, CEO of BBDO Group India, took charge of the agency network earlier this year. As he completes 100 days in this role, Impact Magazine is here to talk to him about the group's ambitions, evolving priorities, and the road ahead. Welcome, Jitender, and
Thank
thank you
you.
for joining us.
Thank you so much.
So, it's been about 3 months since you've stepped into this role. What has surprised you the most about the ecosystem here, and something that was not visible from outside?
So, yeah, it's been more than 100 days, fairly hectic 100 days. And, one of the things that has pleasantly surprised me, usually, as you know, the structure of BBDO Group is that it's comprised of, two strong institutions or legacy agency, you might call them Ulka and Mudra
Okay.
and BBDO India.
Right.
So when one walks in, there is a bit of an apprehension of saying there are three different kind of people coming in, and three different cultures coming together. So that kind of sometimes become challenging. Uh, but I've been pleasantly surprised at the similarity in the kind of people that are there.
Hmm.
It's almost a the kind of culture that Ulka has, the kind of people that Mudra has, and the kind of culture BBDO India had under Josie. So it's been actually. I felt that that's the part that will take longest. But that's the taking the least amount of time. The other thing is about the size and scale of BBDO group now.
Okay.
We usually, when you think of them individually, you have a sense of how big they are. But when it's come together and the kind of brands that reside in the
Hmm.
BBDO group is actually quite big,
Right.
and that's where probably the industry does not know. So at one end, you have when you look at Ulka, you have massive clients like Amul, Tata Motors, ICICI. When you look at Mudra, you have clients like McDonald's, Royal Enfield.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at BBDO, the set of clients that we have PNG, we have Marsh. So there is a scale also which
Hmm.
kind of surprised me in a certain sense of the kind of client list and the people have. So that's been,
Okay.
if you would really, pleasantly surprising.
All right. All right. And you've described the group as a hidden giant. What do you think has kept that scale or capability from being full visible in the market narrative so far?
So it's not that it existed like that. So
Hmm.
when I say it's not, people don't know how how big BBDO group is, because it's happened as a result of consolidation. So
Right.
overnight, if you were to say what BBDO India was about 100 people strong, to suddenly be more than 500, 600
Hmm.
people. So that multiplication of the size that has happened is what people aren't aware of, and therefore that's what I talked about, the fact that we're not sleeping, but we're giant.
Okay, fair. Uh, BBDO India, Ulka, and Mudra each come with their distinct histories and cultures. In your first 100 days, what has stood out to you as the biggest strength of this multi agency structure, and what has needed the most immediate alignment?
So if you look at that, look, all three of them, BBDO, Worldwide, Mudra, and Ulka are very strong, powerful institutions with their own, identity and culture.
Hmm.
Ulka has built so many Indian brands and partnered. As I said, there is a 40-year-old relationship we have with Amul, and there's a huge trust and respect for Ulka.
Hmm.
Mudra has partnered so many brands to growth,
Right.
you know, again its history. And BBDO globally is perhaps one of the most strongest and powerful creative force. In 2026, they were the only agency to be amongst the most innovative companies by the Fast Company.
Hmm.
And I mean, we don't even talk about the kind of work and the awards that they won. And you have big global clients like Pepsi and Mars. And if you saw, in fact, this year on the Super Bowl, uh, probably, I don't know, 6 out of 10 spots were from BBDO. And when you come to India, but they bring all their different sense. So when I was talking to someone that what do you how are you going to bring all things together? It's the best of everything.
Right.
So when you look at I'll just give you an example. Ulka has industries perhaps the best entry level recruitment program called Star One training
Okay.
program. I'm actually a For me, it was a full circle. I actually was a product of. I started my career
Okay.
at Ulka as a management trainee. It still continues after 25 years, and we recruit young people, train them,
Hmm.
and all that. It brings that strength. Mudra perhaps has some of the best people policies in the industry. I've always admired Mudra from outside for having their best
Hmm.
people
Hmm.
policies, and now it is powered by what I call as BBDOs, the idea of do big things.
Right.
So it's a thing of saying we are picking the best of it and trying to take it across the group.
Okay, fair enough. And about the consolidation, if the objective of the recent consolidation was to create a simpler, stronger agency network, why was it important to retain brands like Ulka and Mudra instead of fully integrating as a single BBDO identity?
So look, the point is consolidations often are, as I said, led by uh, need of business. Sometimes consolidation happens because it enables and empowers you
Hmm.
to make bigger investment into technology. So at that level, you probably will do consolidation, which is where now all the Omnicom group companies are powered by what we call as connected capabilities, right? So there are the creative agencies, and then they're
Right.
all powered by that. But in case of if you look at Mudra and Ulka, these are very strong. See, we are in the business of building brands, and I always believe that it's about power of leveraging the brands. If you specifically look at Ulka and Mudra, they were unique in a certain sense that they were homegrown agencies who had huge equity. Even now, people refer to. I mean, if you talk to lot of business people, people would talk about Ulka rather than calling it an FCB Ulka.
Right.
There is that. So for us, it was a unique opportunity because if you look at where the Indian economy right now is, you know we are in the place where we are about to grow and become bigger in the world. So
Right.
there are Indian companies now going global,
Hmm.
right? The giants of that.
Yes.
There are thousands of small and medium companies which are now taking the journey from a 200 crore to a 2000 crore.
Hmm.
It creates almost need for homegrown agencies which can actually partner those
Right.
brands, which is where I think Ulka and Mudra fit in very well.
Okay.
And of course, you're now powered by the philosophy of do big things,
Hmm.
and so therefore it was treated slightly differently because I think there is a need in the market and there is an opportunity in the market for us to go and partner. It's time for India, and I think these are two Indian solid brands where
Startups. Yeah.
plants are. The other thing is, what I find unique about when agency brands survive that long and have that trust.
Hmm.
We are in the middle of a lot of transition, and when things change a lot, people look at institutions which provide them the solid trust,
Hmm. Right.
and these agencies are some of those agencies which will provide that. But I guess the whole point was it's the time for India, and therefore these agencies are rightly positioned to build those
Build those
brands.
brands. Okay, fair enough. And when you say we are only getting started, what does that translate into numbers? Are you targeting X% growth in revenue, or X new marquee clients, or expansion into a specific sector in the next 1 year?
So, I mean, I wouldn't get into numbers. There is, as I said, it's in 100 numbers, but I can tell you the intent behind that. And
Hmm.
let's continue from what I said.
Hmm. Hmm.
The intent, for example, and let's start that. When we call ourselves, do big things, and for us, when we say do big things, is not purely in a sense of uh, the work. It is about where it's to solve big problems, and that's
Right.
that's for our global. If you take big problems and create big impact, is where it comes from.
Right.
The BBDO philosophy. In that sense, our focus is going to be that now Ulka would be again sort of pitched to partner the big Indian
Hmm.
clients, now becoming even bigger.
Right.
That's the target, and
Hmm.
go to those clients. Mudra is a full service agency uh, which will now be partner a lot of these Indian businesses now trying to scale up to become the next Indian
Hmm.
multinational.
Hmm.
So there is clearly a growth that we are looking at that level. And as far as BBDO is concerned, there are big global clients, and our client roster across the globe is, as I said, there's Pepsi, there's Mars, there is
Right.
Meta,
Hmm.
WhatsApp, and all that. So that they will become the engine of growth from that perspective. And I see all three of them hopefully firing at the same time.
Okay, great. Everyone is talking about AI, but you've hinted a practical, no nonsense approach to it. Can you share one or two examples of where AI integration has already reduced production time, cutting costs, or improved campaign output?
See, look, I have a point of view on AI. The way the conversation is, every
Hmm.
AI conversation seems to be about efficiencies. Every AI conversation seems to be about a reduction in cost and reduction in timeline. I have a different approach to when I look at every single technology has the ability, and I'm an engineer, so therefore for me, every new technology is a toy to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah, enjoy that, right? Every new technology is a multiplier, right
Okay.
from Microsoft Word,
Hmm.
right? I mean, we now think of them as Microsoft Office is not tool. Every single new technology that comes in, it's a multiplier of
Right.
your and mine
Hmm.
productivity, right? I see AI as that.
Okay.
So if there are 500 people in BBDO group today, AI multiplies all 500 of them to make us a better version of that.
Hmm.
A strategist becomes a much sharper strategist, a better strategist if he or she starts using an AI. Creative persons become better with that, but
Hmm.
that's not where it stops. It takes every single person in the organization, and which is where, for me, we did a very interesting experiment in BBDO in the month of May.
Okay.
We said, because of the kind of conversation that are having around AI, it almost is becoming something intimidating and threatening, for a lot
Hmm.
of people.
Hmm.
I said, no, that is not how it should be seen as. It has to
Yeah.
be seen as a tool which I can use very comfortably and play with.
Yeah.
So what we did is that we did an audit of the AI journey of all our employees. So where
Okay.
are they on the AI scale of how much
Hmm.
AI do you use? Not at work, in your life.
Right. Okay.
And we did an audit and we plotted the journey of where people are, and there are only very few people who are there up there, and they are also, because AI is moving very
Hmm.
fast, they're
Yeah.
there. A large part of people had not even started on their AI journey, and that I'm true with all across all organizations,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So what we did is that, look, all of us have to move forward. It can't be the organization doesn't move forward if only 10 people run with
Hmm.
AI forward. No, it's not a separate department. AI has to become integrated in the way we work. So what we did is that for one day said we will only play with this play tool called AI.
Hmm.
We shut down BBD group. We didn't do any work.
Okay.
We said it's a play day. We had a very informal environment, and we trained people to play with toys. And full day, it was nothing else, and it was not about, I said, directed towards productivity.
Hmm.
No, you want to create a video of your grandfather and your family together. You want to create still videos to pictures. You want to make your travel plans. You want to create some crazy softwares, whatever it is. We
Hmm.
let people loose and just have them play with it. The intent was that after that day, does everyone move up a step above in the level of comfort with AI? And the more they and it could be applied to, as I said, it was not a choice of doing creative and strategy people. No, somebody in admin was also using, and that person was also
Hmm.
not trying to do his own or her own work.
Hmm.
They were trying to make funny videos with Amitabh Bachchan or somebody else featuring in those videos and standing there, and of course we gave them brief. What it did was that suddenly the whole organization now looks at AI completely differently. They become comfortable. So that is where our approach to AI would be. Of course,
Hmm.
the whole Omnicom has huge investments. We have really powerful tools like Omni AI and Omni, where, as you're talking about, it's from the very beginning of the process to the very beginning, from strategy, which is cohorting, consumer cohorting, doing research,
Hmm.
to then testing, to then creation, and improving the production, to even testing and improving that, to even customization. So we've
Right.
done that. We are using that with some of our clients. I mean, we were in a pitch yesterday where we demonstrated that our capabilities to one of the clients, saying this is how we apply that.
Okay.
That is happening all the same time. But the way I see that is, approach to AI is not about reductionist of efficiency. It
Hmm.
is more about multiplication.
Okay. That was interesting. Okay. You worked across McCann, Trail, and now Omnicom again. What has coming back to this ecosystem made you see agency leadership differently today, especially in India's current market reality?
See, look, the point is, uh, and if you look at the whole journey, you are always some of the life that you lived,
Yeah.
right? So to me, McCann was, what McCann is, one of the big agencies, big canvas. I mean, what JWT used to be, and I
Hmm.
spent time in JWT as well. But then I went and spent some time at Shell, where it was at the cutting edge of technology, where creativity and technology were together, and there I experienced that, and you picked those threads as well.
Hmm.
And when you come back again to Omnicom, where there is a huge canvas, so now how to work on big brands on big canvas is what you learned at one agency. At the same time, how to use technology to be at the cutting edge is the other thing you picked up from
Hmm.
that. But I think one of the things that, from a leadership perspective, is that there are when I say we are in challenging times, it's not AI that I'm saying
Hmm.
it's challenging for leaders. No, it's the value of creativity, and therefore the value of agency
Hmm.
partnerships and evaluation is what we need to reset and redefine and look at from a broader view.
Okay.
I very strongly believe that brands will remain the unfair advantage that clients will have. And this is what CEOs must realize of the
Hmm.
companies, that eventually it is everything else will become equal. It is the brands that will be the unfair advantage.
Right.
And they need agencies to build those brands. And for agencies, I say creativity will be the unfair advantage you will have in solving problems.
Right.
Somewhere getting clients to see the value that agencies bring to table is one of the biggest challenges that the agency leaders have,
Hmm.
because that is what help us, put our high value creativity, put it forward, get a fair value for that. Then that allows us to be the place where to make places that are attractive to for young people to work. And
Right.
that's one of the things that you have. How do you make your agency more attractive? How do you get young creative talent, which has
Hmm.
now far more options?
Yes.
And all of them are connected, but somewhere the whole agency business model and proving the value of creativity is one of the challenges all business leaders have right now.
Okay, fair enough. So thank you so much for talking to us. It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.